Welcome to the Crawlcast. I'm your host, George Krawczak, and this is what happened on Night 2 of Summerslam 2025. And if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. And let me know your thoughts on the show in the comments below. And if you want my more immediate thoughts on things, make sure to follow me on Twitter /X at Crawlcast. Now let's get started. So the first match is Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. So at the beginning, Naomi kind of runs away and Io and Rhea team up against her. And so after the two of them team up to take out Naomi, then Rhea accidentally hit Io with a big boot. Naomi then dominated most of the match, which was pretty surprising. So then Io and Rhea teamed up again to take her out. There was one spot where Io was on the top rope, and while Naomi was pinning Rhea, she did a nice moonsault, which is really good. And Naomi moved so fast, so she only hit Rhea, and that was a really good one. And then Io hit a really nice power bomb to Rhea Ripley onto Naomi. And then Rhea did an avalanche riptide on Io, and Naomi rolled her up for the win to retain the title. So I kind of expected a little bit more. It was still a really good match. I just thought this could have been on par with the WrestleMania triple threat, and it just simply wasn't. Io Sky is still the best wrestler in the world, and honestly, any match she's in is in contention for match of the night, and it's almost impossible for her to have a bad match. So I just wish they could give her someone like Paul Heyman or somebody like that who can speak English very well and kind of help her with talking. And she could be like Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman, just kind of sit there and be the best wrestler in the world while Heyman does all the talking. So the next match was the Wyatt Six versus Andrade and Ray Phoenix versus DIY versus Fraxium versus Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Pop Profits for the WWE Tag Team Championship. And I feel like Andrade should have been replaced by Penta because it would have been really cool to see the Lucha Bros back together. And so at the beginning, everyone teamed up against Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis. And it was pretty funny because they had a spot where the Street Profits were going to hit a back body drop on the ladder to Joe Gacy, but Gacy completely missed the ladder, so they had to redo the spot. And then there was a lot of really great table spots. Axiom, his Spanish fly through the table on the outside to Angelo Dawkins. And I've noticed Angelo Dawkins is literally willing to take almost any bump there is. Like, he had a really bad landing on his knees from the top of the ladder spear in the last TLC match. And then Candice LeRae tried to win the match for DIY, and then BFAB took her out, and then Nikki Cross got involved and took out BFAB. And then Candice LeRae climbed the ladder and got pushed off and took an insane bump through a ladder bridge to the outside. And that was really, really great job by Candice LeRae. So then Eric Rowan got involved and started attacking the Street Profits. The Street Profits then put Eric Rowan through a table. Nathan Frazier went for a spear while Tommaso Ciampa or went for a spear on Tommaso Ciampa, and Tommaso Ciampa had a really nice spot where he like pulled himself up on the tag titles, and it showed a lot of really great core strength. So when Nathan Frazier went for the spear, he just completely missed. So then Uncle Howdy came in and took everyone out. Nathan Frazier then hit a sunset flip off the ladder to Uncle Howdy, kind of through a ladder. And then Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis then grabbed the gold for the win. It was a really great match, and it was especially great because like there's just a lot of great spots, and it was the person who really did the best was Candice LeRae with that insane bump. And I get it; it's hard for TLC matches to be as good as they once were because the old ones were so much more violent. But now with like blood and stuff like that being banned, they had to kind of work around the edges, and this really felt like a nice, more old school match where it was really, really good. So the next match is Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And I just find it very weird that they're calling it a no countout, no disqualification match because all no disqualification matches are no countout. And so there was one point where Becky used a chain to choke Lyra on a ring post. That was really good. And then Becky grabbed a toolbox and a zip tie, and she zip tied Lyra's hands together. She then grabbed a wrench and started beating up Lyra, and Lyra did a really nice moonsault and dropkick with her hands tied, and that was really, really good. But then the spot kind of just got too old, where Lyra was struggling to get out of the zip ties, and overall, this kind of was just a weird pacing match. Um, so at one point, Lyra went under the ring and sprayed Becky with a fire extinguisher and broke the zip ties. So Lyra hit the Nightwing off the steel steps, and then Lyra exposed a turnbuckle and got hit by it, and then took a manhandle slam through 2 chairs. Becky then stomped on Lyra while she was in in a chair. So Becky was going to hit Lyra with a crowbar, and then Bayley saved her, but Bayley kind of missed her cue, and it kind of made Becky look a little slow because Bayley again missed her cue and was a little bit slow. So then Bayley and Becky started fighting. Becky was leaning on the table and Lyra leaning on a table, and Lyra hit a leg drop from out of nowhere through the table. And then Bayley accidentally hit Lyra, and Becky hit the manhandle slam for the win. Overall, I thought it was just okay. So it looks like there'll be a Lyra versus Bayley feud, and I don't know if my expectations were a little too high for this or not, but it just felt like an average match, and the crowd weren't into it at all, and overall there wasn't a lot of violent spots, and there wasn't a lot of great wrestling. And again, the crowd just got killed after the TLC match. It was kind of too much for them to follow up with this, but overall, I think the match was just okay, and they could have done better. So the next match is Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa in a steel cage for the US title. So Solo dominated early and then tried to leap through the door, but then Jacob stopped him. And then after Jacob started dominating, the MFT shows up, and then Jimmy Uso came out and took everyone out except for Talatanga, which is kind of interesting. So they're kind of showing Jimmy Uso is better and more powerful than JC Mateo and Tangaloa. So then Talatanga handcuffs Jacob Fatu to the top of the cage. Jacob then gets out of the handcuffs, and Talatanga hits the door in his face for the win. This match was so boring. It was literally nothing happened. The one big spot of the match was Jacob Fatu breaking out of the handcuffs, and the camera crew completely missed that. And overall, bloodline interference has just been so bad for a long time. And I like Solo, and I think he's a really great wrestler. And I think he has a shot at being upper mid card or maybe even a main eventer. But it feels like the bloodline are just holding him back. It's the same type of thing every single match, even when Roman was doing it, and it was bad. And like I said, there's just nothing there in this spot. Or in this match. And Jacob had a really good spot where he hit a moonsault off the top of the cage to the MFT, but that was after the match. Why not just do it during the match? It literally made no sense to me. This match, again, was boring, it was nothing, and uh, it just wasn't very good. So the next match is Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. So AJ is wearing Eddie Guerrero-inspired gear, and then AJ dominated a lot early. And then it was a pretty back-and-forth match. Dominic was going for the Three Amigos, and AJ reversed it into a Brainbuster. And then AJ was going for a Frog Splash, and Dominic blocked it. Dominic then hit the 619, and Dom was going for a Frog Splash, but AJ caught him in a Calf Crusher. And then Dominic tried to do the Eddie Guerrero, cheating with a chair spot, but AJ fell down and kind of confused the ref, so the ref didn't know who hit who. And I thought that was weird, because what if the ref thought Dom hit AJ? Then AJ would have won by disqualification and not won the title, so I thought that was kind of weird. So then AJ had Dom in the calf crusher, and Dom's boot came off. It looked a little bit weird at coming off, but Dom's boot came off. And then Dom hit the hit AJ with the boot and hit the frog splash for the win. This was a fine match. Honestly, this really felt like kind of a Raw match and not really a pay-per-view match. But overall, this is a pretty decent, and it's interesting where AJ and Dom goes from here, because it seems like Dom's going down to AAA, and then AJ, he's in his retirement run too, so he needs to face Cena in one of his final matches. So the main event was Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE Championship in a street fight. So it was interesting because Cody was getting heavily booed over Cena throughout the entire match. And so at the beginning, Cody and Cena were hugging each other, and then John hit Cody with a crutch from a basketball player who was in attendance. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who the basketball player is. And then and then John put the steel steps in the ring. Cody slammed Cena onto the steps, and then Cena chucked the steps at Cody's face like he kind of did to Umaga, like a callback there. And then there was a really nice spot where both of them had chairs, and then they hit each other with the chairs, and Cody won the exchange. And then Cody hit a pile driver on Cena, which was interesting to see. Then Cody hit a pop-up powerbomb on Cena, but Cena countered it into an STF. Cena then hit Cody with a microphone and hit Cody with a sunset flip. Cena hit an AIA on Cody through the announce table, and at this point in the match, Cena hit 3 AAs and Cody hit 1 crossroads, and so Cena was hit the top rope leg drop and another AA. Then Cena tries to hit another AA into the ring, and then or he brings a table into the ring and tries to hit Cody with an AA through the table. Cody then threw the table away. Then the fight broke out into the crowd, and Cena hit Cody with a steel barricade, and then Cody suplexed Cena through the barricade. Then they go under the stage, and Cena comes up carrying Cody through Cody's entrance thing, his little elevator that he does to make his entrance, and hit an AA, and then Cena carried Cody into the ring, and Cody hit a crossroads. So then Cena took off the bottom Cody took off the bottom turnbuckle and hit Cena with the steel turnbuckle a few times. Cody was Cena was going for the STF with the bottom rope like he did to Umaga, and then Cody countered that into just a rest hold. So then Cody tries to hit Cena with the title, and John hits 2 more AAs and 1 from the second rope. Cody kicks out. Then Cena grabbed the table, and Cena goes through a top rope AA through the table, but Cody counters it into a Cody cutter through the table, which was kind of interesting because Cody kind of got the worst of it there. And then Cody hit the crossroads for the win on Cena. And Cody was kind of a heel during this match, but since everything was legal, I think you can chalk that more up to him being aggressive as opposed to him being a heel. And then it's going to be interesting what Cena does now that he's lost the title, because Cena had 2 goals in WWE. One was to break Ric Flair's record and win the WWE Championship. He did that at WrestleMania. Then his next goal was to be the last real world champion and retire as champion. He failed to do that because he just lost the title to Cody Rhodes. So maybe he can go for the Intercontinental Championship, but that feels like a downgrade and way beneath him. So it's what does he do now from December? And it felt like this kind of should have been his retirement match, because you could tell Cena and Cody really cared about this match and really tried to have a good match here. I think both of them realized how terrible their WrestleMania match was, and they kind of wanted to redeem themselves. All the finisher spamming, it's not for me. I'm a little bit more old school where finishers are protected and that's the final move, and you shouldn't be able to hit your finisher 8 times and still have kickouts, but that's just me because finishers do bring exciting moments. So the big news is Brock Lesnar returned and F5 Cena. I'm so happy that Brock has returned. I actually called that in my predictions, but I am the biggest Brock Lesnar fan there is, especially when he's not being lazy. He is just so good, and I'm excited to see Brock and Cena, but you got Brock and Cena versus AJ, and it seems like Cena's heel turn is just done, which is just so weird to me, because I thought they were going to set this up with something, because why couldn't they just show Cena gradually becoming a babyface instead of just him being a heel since WrestleMania? Well, actually, since Elimination Chamber back in February, I believe. And then all of a sudden he just comes out, cuts a promo on SmackDown, is I'm a babyface now. That's it. No more heel Cena. It doesn't make any sense. I get it. Nobody cares because this is what they really wanted. No one really wanted to boo Cena, and his heel run really wasn't going well. But I just wish they could have made more storyline sense to it. But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent pay-per-view. A couple of the matches were disappointing, but a lot of them were really great. So happy for Brock's return, and we can see how that goes. Maybe he'll face Seth and Cody, and there's a lot of memorable matchups there. So let me know your thoughts on the pay-per-view below in the comments below. Did you like it? What didn't you like? And if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. And if you want my more immediate thoughts on things, make sure to follow me on Twitter /X@Crawlcast, and I'll see you on the next one.